My instructions were just go through the gate. Gate's locked, no one in the security pod. No one's got the right key for the gate. It's the third try now. Ah yes, the forklift rammed into the side of the conveyor routine. It's a timeless classic, isn't it? Right, come on in. Right, so I was going to bend these back into shape, but as it turns out there's another stainless job to do inside, and it's going to require re-welding and then reinforcing, and I don't have any stainless plate, so the decision's been made to cut these off. I'm going to use those two end plates to reinforce the one inside, and then the ultimate sin is going to be welding new mild steel brackets to this. I know, I've told the customer, but they need to get back up and running today. What they do in the future is up to them. Just the holes to drill, and then we can go and trial fit this. You can't beat a good set of cobalt bits. They're good. So this guy is the same as this. It's got spaces at the side, and that is to go on there. Do you reckon I get away with it? 316 stainless, mate. It's not mild steel. What, mild steel painted with a cheap galvanising spray? No. Right, here's our problem. Cracked all the way around there and even into the section itself. Today's just going to be welding it up and getting them back operational, but eventually we need to reinforce it, I think. Yeah. Dropped it on the floor, snapped the pissing tungsten, haven't I? Well guys, not going to be winning TIG Welder of the Year with that performance, but yeah, it gets them out of trouble today, and they've now got those two machines back up and running. I can take these pissing things off now, can't I? Finished the job this afternoon pretty quickly, so I'm going to have a quick tidy up before I go home, which is a luxury. As you saw this morning, the van gets pretty dirty pretty quick. I mean, look, this is what we're having to deal with, barely enough room to put a foot down. So whilst I do a bit of a tidy up, I was thinking, I'm going to tell you what I charged for this morning's jobs. And the reason I want to do that is because when I started mobile welding, I had no idea. The only part of it where I really struggled was pricing, because it's totally different to you being in a workshop, you know, fabricating stuff and then delivering it to site, etc. To go to site and put a price on that convenience factor that you're offering, to turn up with all your gear, completely self-sufficient, you don't want for anything, you don't need anyone's assistance, that has a price. This morning consisted of two jobs. The stand that the conveyor stood on, it had those two right angled brackets that were bent. I charged £300 for that, and I quoted that yesterday to the customer. They okayed it, said it's absolutely fine. Now £300 I don't think is unreasonable. I think that's pretty good actually. I think you'll find a lot of mobile welders will charge that, if not maybe a little bit more. I think it's probably at the cheaper end, but it didn't involve an awful lot of skill. It didn't involve a lot of materials or consumables. It wasn't massively hard work. So you have to offset that it's quite an easy job, against the convenience. So the convenience is that they're quite a chunky company. Having a machine down is of a big inconvenience to them, and they needed it to be done urgently. So you come out quickly, like I said, you're fully self-sufficient, you've got power, you've got all the gear, etc. And they haven't had to do anything. They haven't had to even corner off a area of the warehouse or sacrifice a member of staff to help you. They've nothing. So £300 I think is a good price for both. The TIG welding job, I also charged £300 for that. TIG welding is a little bit more specialist. For those of you who know about welding, it's a little bit more specialist. The real value comes from the machine itself. That I think that's one of their main machines, unable to be used. The point with that one is that you literally can't take that to somebody to get them to repair it, even if they would agree to do it there and then that morning. For me to make that repair in situ with a decent level of welding knowledge, etc., £300 again, I don't think is that bad. Mobile welders, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's not too bad. Now I know that wasn't a permanent fix, and the customer knows that. It's still a decent fix. It gets them back up and running today, and it will be fine for the foreseeable until I get back to sort that out. So £600 for 4.5 hours work. I was there for 4.5 hours this morning. You might think that's really good money. Is it? I've got tax to come out of that. I've got obviously all my business costs to come out of that. And then the biggest factor of all to think about is how often that doesn't happen. You know, I charge £200 for a job that I think is going to take me 20 minutes, and I turn up and I've miscalculated or I've made a mistake, and all of a sudden it turns into a disaster and you're there all day. As well as the fact that some weeks you're busy, some weeks you got nothing, you're twiddling your thumbs, you're doing jack. So it balances itself out. I don't always earn £600 every single morning. Would be nicer, wouldn't it? Anyway guys, I hope that's helpful to someone. You know, if you're starting off in mobile welding and you say, right, he's charged £300 for that job and £300 for that job, so I could charge £400 for that job. You know, it gives you something to go on. I know they're a bit miscellaneous as jobs, a bit random, but you're going to get a lot of that type of stuff. Most of the time I'm working on HGV stuff, trucks, trailers and whatnot, but I do a fair bit of factory work, repairs, etc. You get all sorts. Anyway guys, hope it helps. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.